All right. So I believe at this point, we are ready to turn it over to Jared Dunbar and Doug Hunt for our program on membership. Or are there any other announcements that we need to make now that won't wait till the end of the
Hope.
Yeah.
Hey, Hope.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
This is Chuck. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can, Chuck. Go ahead.
I spoke with...
Hold on, Chuck. We got some background noise. You're going to have to try it again.
I just wanted to if you could hear me okay, I spoke with Joseph a couple of hours ago, and he wanted me to make sure to share with the club that he's recovering, and wanted to let everyone know that as they were about to roll him back into the OR for his surgery last week, he did have the moment of clarity that he wasn't really all that worried because he felt like there was always room for a good organist in heaven. And so he just wanted me to share that with the club.
Thank you, Chuck. And, and Joseph always keeping a sense of humor, even in the midst of the struggles he's going through. So appreciate you sharing that.
You wanted me to remind you about the golf tournament?
Yep. Thank you. Tony, do you want to chime in on that? Oh, Tony, you're muted.
Hey. All right. No, so I was talking with Sam. Basically, we're looking pretty good with teams. We're going to have more than we did last year. And I believe we're right now 1 or 2 shy of having 18 hole sponsors, which was the goal. But what we're asking is that if you want to make a team, you're interested in a hole sponsor, get that to myself or Sam. Hope's got it on the email of the email address for Sam. Just shoot us over your logo, what you want on the sign, but try to do that by next Wednesday. We've got to get the signs printed. We need to get all the literature and stuff written up for the tournament. I'm calling the tournament today to try to clarify some things on the start, but if you guys could get us everything by Wednesday, we'll be right on time.
Very
Can
good.
you remind us how much the whole sponsorships are?
$100.
Okay, thank you.
I'm looking for who's talking.
Tony?
Yes.
Tony, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, we will have 2 teams.
2?
And I'll get that sent. I'll get that sent in to you.
Awesome, perfect. I'll let them know.
I think
Okay.
Sam had noted that, Tony. He just doesn't have the paperwork yet.
How many teams do we have so far?
11 to 12. We're waiting on one verbally confirmed, a non-Rotarian team, but we're just waiting to hear from him probably tomorrow.
How many teams can you handle?
You can handle probably 22. So bring them on.
Tony, I've got a team also. I just have to get an application from either you or Sam to get the names and everything submitted.
If you don't mind just waiting on for a little bit afterwards, I'll get your email address and shoot that over to you.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Awesome.
All right. Does anybody else need the registration form for golf or for hole sponsorship?
Send me one, Tony. I might have a team that might want to play.
Okay. And like Tony said, if you guys have the opportunity to stick around for a few minutes after the meeting finishes, he'll gather your information so that he can get everything to you.
Okay. One more thing. Hope.
Yes.
Don Peters, you want to give an update on him and Sharon?
Yep. Don Peters is doing better. He had a doctor's appointment today at 11:30, so he said he may not be able to log into Zoom, although he might get in a little bit later. But his wife Sharon is now in the hospital, and he didn't share details, but I'm sure Don would welcome your well wishes and prayers, for Sharon to have a short visit in the hospital. And you guys can tell I'm missing, like I'm not making it through my notes very systematically today, so I apologize for that. I actually have two PowerPoint presentations pulled up on my computer along with the Zoom. Is there somebody, Makiba, are you, did you have an announcement? Nope, she just muted herself. I just think that was not on purpose. Okay.
Sorry.
All right, no problem. All right, so I think we are ready to turn the program over to Jared and Doug. And Jared, you just have to let me know, do you want me to show the video first before you guys get started?
Let me mention a couple things first, and I'll give you a minute to cue that up. Well, hello everyone, and today we're talking about membership, which is you and the backbone to our club. And so Doug and I have worked to put some things together for you guys. It's going to be a little bit different, obviously, in the virtual world that we're in. Melissa, welcome again as our newest member. You and a lot of other folks have not had an opportunity to have new member orientation, so we're kind of rolling that in today. Doug's going to talk a little bit about where we are and where we're headed and some ideas of some possibly to change some things up from a retention and recruitment standpoint. I can't thank Doug enough for how much he's jumped in here on the membership committee as the co-chair, has attended the membership summit virtual presentations over the last month and a lot of other things. So Doug's been just awesome with that. I don't want to steal too much of Doug's thunder, but you know, we have a very healthy club. And that's something that we're blessed with, healthy as far as membership numbers, that a lot of other clubs can't say. However, that does not mean that we can be complacent with that. We have a tremendous legacy in our community and beyond of what we've been able to accomplish. And in order to continue that legacy that we all want to do, what we do as Rotarians to help other people, we have to continue to grow our membership. So without further ado, we're going to jump into this. I've asked Hope, and I threw this on her like an hour ago, maybe an hour and a half ago. So I appreciate you being able to do this. So let's see if we can get that quick video pulled up.
Welcome to Rotary.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it. Could you hear it?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Welcome to Rotary.
If everybody else will mute
With your
themselves.
unique skills and perspective, you are joining a global network of problem solvers, drawn together by desire to make a difference. Together, we can be bolder. When you share your ideas and connect with others, it's not just your community that benefits. You'll grow as a leader and feel a shared sense of purpose that comes from finding lasting solutions to big problems. Get involved in a way that's meaningful to you. Find a mentor. Sign up for a training. Volunteer in a service project. Or attend a global event. You are now connected to 1.2 million people of action who unite to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. Welcome to Rotary.
Thank you, Hope, for that. Just kind of getting us going a little bit here. And I know you guys didn't want to just hear lecture all day, so I'll try to throw something in there real quick. Hope, can you throw those controls over to me, please? I'm going to pull up this PowerPoint presentation. Thank you. And let Doug talk for a little bit. Doug, you just let me know. Can you guys see my screen now?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, ready?
Take it away, Doug.
Good afternoon, everybody. Great to be here at another Rotary meeting. My only problem is my buddy Joseph didn't make it. I'm really looking forward to seeing him in the near future. I miss him. He's usually the light of my meeting. He's always got a good joke for me. But to get things started off, as you can see on the slide here, currently we have 83 members, which is it's really good. If I read the numbers correctly, it puts us around 6th in our district and membership, if I'm looking at that correctly, which is fairly good out of about 47, 48 clubs, depending on which ones have been shut down or not. But that's a really good membership total, although we can do better. Moving on, our average annual attrition rate, which is, that's kind of like the people we lose over a normal year for various reasons. You can chalk it up to whatever you want, but that's normally how many people we lose, which is our rate, excuse me, our annual attrition rate is 6.8%, which works out to about 6 members. And then our very conservative net growth goal is 1, which that's the bare minimum, but we can do a lot better than that. So that puts our attraction rate to meet our new growth goal at 7. So basically we need 7 new members this year to continue to grow. And I don't think we're going to have any problem with that from the looks of the new members we've got coming in. As Jared said, as a club, we've been very blessed with a healthy membership base. So we're not saying that there's any kind of problem. We're just saying that we can always do better. And as he touched on before, complacency is not acceptable for the legacy of this club. There's been a lot of good members come before us that have done a lot of good work and served a lot of great causes that we need to continue to build on their sacrifices and their hard work. So complacency is something we don't need to allow in here. Growth is not a 4-letter word, so we can continue to grow as much as we want. Everybody sponsors 1 member, that'd be great. Go ahead, Jared, the next slide. All right, here's some of the things that we're hitting on is prospect identification. We need to get a more structured way of looking at who we're trying to get into our club or who we want to recruit. Occupational classifications. What are we looking for? Everybody knows some classification we're missing. In the near future, Jared and I are trying to work on something where we'll have some polling inside the Zoom meetings where we can ask questions during the meeting, maybe get some ideas and maybe do some surveys. And I think we were looking at Mary Jane to help us with that. Hope said she'd really good with it. But we need to get our occupational classifications up to par. We need to invite more people into our club. That's the easiest way to say it. Diversification and minority representation. I think our club does a really good job at this. The only thing I can tell looking at our numbers is our female participation, which is about 1/3 of our club. But diversification and representation by all classes of people is the best way to grow our club, and it gets more input into our club. So we need to be identifying people that had different skill sets that are underrepresented in our club as we move into that. And the skill sets could be, it could be anything. It could be leadership. It could be the think tank kind of people. It could be logistics, just any kind of skill set that we don't currently see represented in our club. We can go out and recruit those people to get them to join into our club and help us grow. So always be mindful of the different skill sets that we see underrepresented in our club and try to bring those people into, or at least identify those. Excuse me. Oh, was it background? And try to bring those people into our club. If you know somebody that needs to be a friend of Rotary, get their name over to, or their email, excuse me, over to Kim and have them added to our update list. So we could get them added on there and send them some information about our club. And so we could continue to build the process, a way of identifying the people that we need to get into our club. So process identification. And moving on to attracting new members. We're going to continue to do our quarterly Discover Rotary sessions as it says up there on the slide. And we're going to do that whether it is virtual or in person. We would prefer to have in-person meetings, but that doesn't seem to be what's going to happen anytime soon. So virtually, we're going to do something with the Discovery Rotary. You know, everybody should bring somebody to one of these meetings. Nice, leisurely, casual environment. Grab a cold beverage, sit down and talk Rotary. Nothing real fancy, just introducing people to what we do and what we're about and the kind of things that we do to help our community. And then moving on to telling our club story. And Jared and I had talked about this extensively. Social media cannot be stressed enough. Social media. It's kind of like the old saying of, you know, for talking about where things are. Social media is kind of what we got to do, especially in this virtual world, if we're not going to get things out there. And I know, Jared, unmute yourself. Who is in charge of that now?
So yeah, just kind of piggyback on that real quick. I think that we've made some pretty big steps over the last couple of years in social media. However, there's still quite a lot of room for growth in that area. Jason is helping out with that now, but he's kind of waiting on me to give him some more direction and access to our social media platforms. So that is on me as far as where we are right now and where we could be or should be and where we're going. But we do plan to continue to move that forward. And I haven't really stressed this enough, and hopefully we'll mention this a couple of times throughout. Membership is everybody's responsibility. Whether you're on our committee or not, we all know that membership is all of our responsibility, which means if you're involved in social media, I know some folks aren't, then, whenever you're willing to help out with social media, please do that. If it's hashtags or if you're at an event and you're taking pictures and just quick uploads or sharing things that we post.
Just tag us anytime you get a chance.
Yeah, go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, just what Jared was saying, any chance you get to tag us or our club or Rotary International or Rotary 7690, tag us and let members know what we're doing, see the fun we're having. And we're not just a bunch of old fuddy-duddies that don't do anything, or, everybody likes to have a cold beer. We like to get out and talk and, play games, talk junk to each other. We're normal folks. And I think sometimes there's a misperception that Rotary members are just too tight in the belt, if that's a good way of putting it. And I don't think that's the case. There's a lot of fun people here doing a lot of fun things, and we need to get people to get them to see that. And so if you have a video, a website, social media, I know most of you are on Facebook. Twitter's where I'm usually at, or Instagram, but there's a lot going on out there, and we need to put our best foot forward and show the people what we're doing and what we can do in the future and how we want to grow. All right, Jared, go ahead. All right, next is our onboarding new members. We're going to continually improve this process and doing the best that we can. So the new member checklist is something I think Jared had come up with for the first 2 years to help our new members get engaged, get them a committee assignments. Kim usually does that, get them assigned to something and get them to participate in our service projects, our 3-minute bio. All these things lead to better retention rates. When you get people involved, when they're having fun, they're mingling with people, they're talking, everybody knows a little bit about everybody. When you get to doing those things and having people involved in stuff, there are higher retention rates. When people want to know that they're wanted, they want to feel like they're needed and they have some input and to the outcome of whatever it is we're doing, our service projects or whatever. Also, we're going to send out helpful links to all things Rotary to our new members, so that get them familiar with our district, and as far as some of our training, Rotary Leadership International, and some of the training that's on Rotary.org and the training portion of that. There's some great training on there. And another thing we're going to try is if we ever go back to our meeting in person, but we can also do this on Zoom, is maybe post a new member picture and a little bit of information about them in the picture. I'm not sure how that would work on Zoom, so I think Jared will have to figure that out because he's better with this stuff than I am. But just post a picture of them so everybody in the meeting can see that they put a face with a name. Because personally, I suck in names. I'm good with faces, but I'm not good with names. So, that would definitely help me. And so I think that's going to be a good thing for us to move forward with, to kind of help people understand who the new members are and get them known and get them involved in stuff. All right, Jared. All right, next is retaining members. And if I'm speaking too fast, somebody tell me because I usually do. But retaining members, microservice projects, we want to mix it up and get away from the status quo where we do the same thing every Wednesday. And we're not asking everybody to sit at a different table because we know that's not really going to happen. But to maybe do some microservice projects on a Wednesday meeting, meet at a park, with a bag lunch or something, pick up some trash because we donate a lot of money to fixing these parks and helping our community out. So it seems only logical that we go out there and experience what our money is providing for these young people in this park environment. And clean it up, have some lunch, you know, just get outside. Fresh air is good for everybody. Easy to social distance that way too. So it's something we can do in this environment that we're in now. Some social fun in place presentation once a quarter. What we talked about was cornhole. I like the Rotary Jeopardy thing. There's another game they play where you give 3 facts about yourself and everybody has to pick out the one lie, 2 facts and 1 lie, and everybody tries to figure it out. Some things like that. And maybe once a quarter, we're going to do like a member spotlight. And this is not the same as a 3-minute bio. What we're going for here is it'll be completely voluntary. So we're not going to try to make anybody do this or make anybody uncomfortable, but have someone, preferably somebody with a lot of life experience. I don't want to say old person, but someone with a lot of life experience to just talk about themselves for a few minutes to, you know, where they started, where they're at, what it took to get in between there to get to where they're at, more so than just giving us the bio, you know, this is where I was born, this is that kind of thing. And, you know, just some tidbits of, you know, what it took to get to where they are, some life experiences, you know, maybe share that, make people, you know, more human to each other, where we can understand where everybody's been and where they're trying to get to. That's what it's all about. We're all human beings and none of us are perfect. None of us come from the same environment. So everybody needs to know that about each other and maybe experience that. And we want to limit our 501c3 speaking, which is, you know, we support a lot of good causes, but it seems like some of the clubs that are doing better and getting a lot of attraction to new members, they're limiting the 501c3, you know, speaking to maybe once or twice a month, to where the members know that, okay, well, we got to come in here, this meeting, we need to hear what these people have to say. But the next meeting, they're going to do something fun. It's not going to be the same old thing where you slip in, eat your lunch, and you slip out during the meeting. Because we all know we've done it, and, you know, I have too. So it's, we just want to limit the 501c3 speaking and maybe get in some other speakers and some other things. So none of this is written in stone. If you have any ideas for Jared and I or anybody on the board, the way to make our meetings better, how to retain members, attract members, please feel free to get that to any of us, because that's what it's all about. We want to grow our club. We want to be the biggest club in our district. We want to make everybody look stupid that they can't even get as many members as we can. So personally, that's where I want to go with it. You know, if everybody got 1 new member, we're at 83 now. What is that? I'm not a math whiz, but that'd be 166 members. And I think Hope would look like the greatest president ever if we could do that. But that's kind of all I have right now, and I'll switch it over to Jared, let him go into our new members.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. And I know you guys may have questions. We got a ton of stuff to get through, so if you can hold your questions until the end, that would be great. Please jot them down because they are important to us. You know, the only thing I want to kind of piggyback on that before moving on to the something else with this presentation is, as Doug has said, and President Hope, please correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the board is saying, hey, we are encouraging you guys as members, when it is your turn to come up with the presentation for that day, it does not mean that you have to find someone to speak about a nonprofit or something like that. We want to continue to have those. We do. Those are important to find out what's going on in our community and where the needs are. We need those people. But we also want to say, hey, you know, the only constant in our world is change, and nothing's more evident than that in the last 5 months. And so we have to change in order to continue to attract new members, and especially the younger generations to this club, to continue the terrific legacy this club has already put in place. Which means if we're coming in and we're just doing the same things over and over and over again, the same type of format, it's going to get kind of stale, and the younger generations just aren't going to be very attracted to that. I know I could be rubbing some people wrong on this today, but I just think it's extremely important for us to get that out there for the sake of our club moving forward. So maybe we go out to a park. We've put a lot of time and money into some of the playground equipment, across the city. Maybe we go out to a park one day, and that's where we have our meeting. We have a lunch there, a picnic shelter, and we socialize, and we pick up trash in that park, and we're more visual in the community. Or maybe we just, like Doug said, we just play a game or something. Or maybe we have somebody who talks more about themselves that day, and you know, where they are, where they've come from, what they've learned. Because there's a lot of folks in the club that I've been in the club for a few years now. There's still a lot of people that I don't know a whole lot about. And so we encourage you to mix it up. So that's just what I wanted to piggyback on that. And I want to take just a minute and let, I'm going to stop this sharing for a second. Tony, I asked you to kind of speak for a minute, like literally like a minute or two. Tony's one of the newer members. I think he's been in the club for a little over a year now. And I just wanted him to share a little bit about why he decided to join the club and what he's gotten from this far. Go ahead, Tony.
Hey, everybody. It's good to speak twice in a meeting. Big day. No, and Jared called me this morning, and I haven't really thought about it from my time being in Rotary. And like you said, I've been in Rotary for about a year, but truly, I feel like, me coming into Rotary has been the epitome of what can Rotary do for you. I mean, I uplifted my wife, Kayla. We moved to Thomasville, had no idea what Thomasville, North Carolina was. Got here, I didn't know anyone but my business partner when I got here. I reached out to Jared, I think one of the first couple months I was here, about Rotary. All I knew about Rotary was it was more of a, philanthropic type organization. I really didn't know what it really was. And I've been in a bunch of organizations like that with Lions Club and some other stuff down in Florida. But when I got here, what really stood out was the fellowship of the group itself. I mean, everyone's friends. I mean, it's almost like a big family coming to eat once a week. And that's what I really grew to love about it. And not to mention and I could go into benefits over and over about how it helps with your business, how it helps with friendships. And I mean, you've got mentors. Just being, like I said, a year in, I've made really good relationships with both mentors, folks that helped me personally with my business. And it's really cool how you can take a organization that's doing, any sort of philanthropy outside, but they make it fun by the people you're with. And that's really cool.
Great. Perfect. Thank you for sharing that, Tony. We're going to have another member in a few minutes share, someone who's been in the club a little bit longer than Tony. But I want to jump back into the screen share again. You guys see him? We good? This is kind of the new member orientation part, and it is a very condensed, and we're going to be flying through this really quick. And my apologies to our new members who are extremely important to us. There's so much information, I know, and you probably have no clue of where is this boat headed that I have jumped onto. Ask questions. Reach out to me. Reach out to any other member. Whoever sponsored you can help. But I'm just going to kind of throw some things at you today that may answer some questions or give you a little bit idea of where we're going. So when you join Rotary, you join an organization of leaders throughout the world to provide humanitarian service, encourage high ethical standards, and help build goodwill and peace throughout the world. We do that. I want to emphasize that Rotary, we are still membership based, invitation only. So that means whoever sponsored you, they thought highly enough of your character and how you will contribute to the collective good that we strive to achieve. So that means that we welcome you. We want to make sure that you are plugged in quickly and engaged, because we know that the quicker we can utilize your strengths to help our club move forward and what we're trying to achieve and accomplish in our community, then the more likely it is that you're going to stay with us as well and bring other folks in, because you are important. So just wanted to mention that real quick. Here are a couple of websites that I want everyone to write down, but especially our new members, veteran members. If you haven't written this down or checked out these websites, please do so. If you don't have your Rotary member number, then get that from Secretary Kim. But our district website, you can see it there on the screen. And then you may hear us refer to DACDB a lot. So kind of look at that and it'll give you an idea of what DACDB is. I wish I had more time to really go into all this stuff today, but we just don't. And then the My Rotary website is also on there. So please make sure you take a few minutes to kind of familiarize yourself with that, and it'll probably lead to some more questions, which is fine. Just don't hesitate to ask one of us that. Okay, so now you're a member of the most awesome Rotary Club in the universe, Thomasville Rotary Club. What's expected of me? you may be wondering that. Attendance. So, attend as many of our standing Wednesday at noon meetings as you can. If you miss a meeting, there are opportunities to attend other meetings throughout the district or elsewhere. Going to those websites will kind of show you that. If you got questions on that, then let me know, or your sponsor. Service. Obviously, service is huge. It's probably our primary goal, and we do that in a lot of different ways to meet the needs of our community. And the club needs and expects your participation in our club projects, which enables us to offer programs that enrich the lives of the people in our community, and as you'll learn, beyond Thomasville as well. So it's really important for you to be plugged in, attending as many of those, and just jumping in as much as you can to help us. Let's see, dues. I'm going to cover that in a little bit later. Hope's actually going to jump on that in a few minutes, so we're going to move forward with this. Areas of focus. You can read that on the screen. What we focus on. And each Rotary Club and each district may focus a little bit more heavily on one area or another here. I want to open this up to the club for just a second, so to get you guys engaged a little bit. You guys kind of just mention some things that we do, especially for our new members. What are some things that we do that might help one of these areas? Anybody, just jump in.
This is Mary Jane. For child health, we had playgrounds installed in all 7 parks in Thomasville, and have had a very robust Children at Play program where we're working to reduce childhood obesity in Thomasville.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mary Jane. Do we do anything else, guys?
Oh, yeah. So on the literacy side, the book giveaway at Thomasville City Schools, so we definitely hit on the literacy point.
Thank you. Thank you. Can anybody speak to the water and sanitation, especially in other countries that we've been involved in?
Jared, wasn't it you that told me we have our name on a well somewhere in South America?
I believe that's right. Does anybody else that was before me know the deal with that? Not everybody all at once.
Walter Hughes can tell us more about it. He does a lot of water projects, and he is going to be our guest speaker sometime in October and November. So I'm excited about that. But we do have our name on a well somewhere.
Yes. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Doug. Yeah, so we, providing clean water to folks, that's something we take for granted, but there's still a lot of people in our world that don't have access to clean water, so that's a big deal. And there's a lot of stuff you're going to find out that we help with, Alzheimer's and just a lot of things. So we could take a whole program just talking about that. But I want you to be proud that you're part of a club that collectively, helps people in these areas. So it's exciting, and just jump in, like we said. If you haven't received the new member manual, please email me. My email address is there on the screen. Get that email. Email me if you have not received a new member manual, because that's going to go into a whole lot more detail that I couldn't cover today. A lot of the history of our club, if that's interesting to you, locally, and the original Rotary Club. Would love to tell that story to you. But that, again, I know we flew through this. New members, you are extremely important. We want you engaged. If you have a question, please, please, please ask. Before we jump to the dues, I wanted to let Dr. Williams speak for a minute. Dr. Williams, I know you joined us too. You've been a Rotarian for a little bit longer than a year, like Tony. So I wanted you to give an opportunity to mention, why you joined Rotary and what have you got out of it over these years.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Obviously, Milton Riley and I joined Rotary in 1968. We moved to Thomasville at the same time. And Charles Gillum, who became a partner and got me in the Rotary Club, he said it was the thing to do. That's where the movers and shakers were. It was interesting that Hillary Rink, Doc Hodgin, Harry Brown Finch, Bob Rapp, and others were stickler for 2 things. One, you had to have a certain vocation to be in, other than the ministers. They would take in 1 pediatrician, 1 barber, 1 this, 1 that. That kind of went by the wayside, which is a good thing. And attendance, if you missed 3 times in a row, you were subject to be dismissed. I think that we kind of invoked that a few times, and we've kind of got away from that, and that's been good. Probably the major thing that happened in the years I've been in Rotary Club happened in the 80s when Duarte, California took in the first woman. It was against the Rotary International Charter. They were disbanded. It went before all the way to the California Supreme Court and then to the Supreme Court that said that women were eligible to join the Rotary Club. So in 1990, which was 22 years after I became a Rotarian, women have been in Rotary. Think about what would we be if we didn't have a women in the Thomasville Rotary Club. So thank God. It was interesting. I know of at least 2 men in Thomasville who resigned over that. Presently, I counted them this morning. We have 31 women, which is a good thing. Have 101 be fine with me. The thing about Rotary, people that get out of Rotary get out in the first couple of years. So if you'll get involved, if you'll be on a committee, if you'll cook chili, if you'll attend Help Everybody's Day, if you'll pack vegetables, if you'll sponsor people, then you will stay in the Rotary Club. The food's good, the fellowship's great, but you've got to be involved in a project to really feel like you want to stay in Rotary. So also, I'll tell you that the first Rotary Club, Rotary in Action, was actually formed in Charlotte by the North Charlotte Rotary Club. So we have a good legacy in Thomasville and North Carolina and internationally. So it's been great. For me to stay in it 52 years means I've got a lot out of it. So appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. So I learned a few new things there myself. And so obviously there's a ton of information here. And I know Dr. Williams hasn't been a Rotarian quite as long as the history of the Thomasville Rotary Club. I think he said 52 years there. We are approaching our 100-year anniversary, I believe next year. It's going to be a big year for us. So new members, I know we just threw a ton of stuff at you. Again, I can't stress enough. Get involved, ask questions. We're here to help. And I did not leave Hope much time. She's probably going to kill me for this. But Hope, I'm going to give you just a couple of times because you can explain dues way better than I can. Hope, go ahead.
Okay. And Chuck McConkey, if you will mute your phone, or Jared, if you will mute him. I think he's got some background noise. You guys hear me talk way too much, and you hear me talk about the money way too much. You know, everybody who's a member of our club, we have one level of membership, but we have a variety of payment plans. You know, the most popular thing, what most people do, is just the regular payment plan. You get a little bit of a break on your meals because you're paying for all 12 meals in a quarter, and you're paying that in advance. And that really helps out our club to manage our meal expense and to be able to have the money in advance to pay caterers, which they like to get their money every week. So so that regular plan is the most popular one. Last year we introduced the flex plan. You pay a little bit more per meal, but your meals are paid or only billed for the ones that you attend. The dues are a little bit higher because traditionally having people pay for all 12 meals has really been what helps run our club. You guys know, in this current environment with no meals involved, last quarter everybody got, you know, billed on the flex plan. Our club is situated where literally, if this is the environment we had to meet in ongoing and there were no meals involved, with that flex plan, we will cover all of our expenses. No problem there. Jared, if you'll flip to the next slide. So other than regular and flex plan, we do give some benefits to our young professionals. So if you are under 35, you basically have regular dues. You pay your sustaining, you pay your scholarship just like everybody else does. But the first year you're going to have some free meals, and the second year on until you reach 35, you're going to have half price meals. So that is our way of attracting new younger members into our club and helping them financially when that might be a big commitment at a young age. And then a lot of you are aware, and we do have a lot of our club members in what we call senior active or rule of 85. What rule of 85 means is that your years of service plus your age equal 85. And they also, for most Rotarians, you've also attained the age of 65 already. That entitles you to the lower dues of a regular member, but that privilege of being billed only for the meals that you attend. So we have quite a few members on Rule of 85, which is wonderful. It means our members have stuck with Rotary for many years and attained that status. So we kind of have a benefit if you come in young and a benefit if you stay with us a long time. Go ahead to the next slide, Jared. So what do you expect? You know, new members, the first time you are billed, you're going to get billed for your initiation fee, which is $150, 50 of which is just goes to administration in the club. The first 100 of that 150 goes to pay your the first $100 to your Paul Harris Fellow. The club does make every new member, after they show that they're going to be sticking with Rotary, we make sure $1,000 has been donated to the Rotary Foundation in your name to honor you as a Paul Harris Fellow. We ask that you contribute $100 every year to sustain that Paul Harris Fellow. So first quarter, you're going to get hit with that $150. Depending on whatever plan you're on, you're going to get the regular quarterly dues for that quarter, and meals depending on whatever plan you've chosen there. And then subsequent quarters, you know, that initiation fee drops off, and, you know, based on whichever payment plan you've selected, you can kind of see on the screen, you know, what your membership cost will be. I will make a comment that basically a regular member who pays their meals in advance really only ends up paying, if everybody, you know, if a flex member attended every meal, I think a flex member might end up paying a couple $100 more per year than a regular member. But normally the regular members will end up paying a couple $100 more than a flex member. And it really is based on, you know, how many of those meals you're going to end up attending. Go ahead and flip to that next slide, Jared. So when to expect those billings? So that first billing does come pretty soon after you join, but then the billing goes out quarterly. We usually send it out by email, and it's going to go to whatever email address you listed on your membership form. If you want it mailed, you know, let me know. We'll make sure that's mailed, but those invoices usually go out April, July, October, and January, just after the close of each calendar quarter. And then every year around the 1st of July, we bill that Paul Harris sustaining $100. And usually January, February, we bill the $150 for the scholarship. Now, you can certainly participate in as many events, sponsorships, fundraisers that you want to. There are plenty of them, but they're not required. You just do those as you feel moved to do them. There are plenty of opportunities to get involved, whether it's a monetary contribution or not. I will tell you guys from my own experience, I've been in Rotary over 20 years. I would have been considered a young professional when I joined, and nobody told me there were not that many females at the time. Definitely in probably the first 5 female members probably of the Thomasville Rotary Club. And I really didn't even realize it for about 5 years. But, you know, I could not do a lot. I was not only young, but I was young in my career. And, you know, I could do things, I could participate, but I really couldn't contribute a lot. So that we know that's the case. I've been through it. I know it. So don't, you know, jump in, join us, help out. But don't feel like you have to give monetarily when you don't have the means to do it. And I think that brings us to the end. Jared, if you want to turn controls, did you have anything else you wanted to add, Jared, before we close?
No, I don't have anything else to add. Okay. I just, you know, thank you guys for sticking with us. I know we're at the 1 o'clock. Membership is extremely important. It's everybody's responsibility. I know some people are like, well, Jared, you've done a great job. Membership's up. It's not me. It's you guys bringing the members in. So thank you so much. I know, again, new members specifically, we threw a ton of information to you. Ask questions. We're here to help. Jump in, get involved. Hope, how do I throw it back over to you?
Well, I tell you what, Lee, oh, that's fine. You're good.
Hope,
Yes.
one thing I want to add is everybody, it's a really underused resource is on myrotary.org is under the training tab. Any and everything you want to know about Rotary's there. And you also get points for the classes that you take. And, you know, not that I'm competitive, but I'm leading in our district. So anybody want to take it on, go over and get some training.
And that is true, guys. Doug really jumped in and self-educated on a lot about Rotary. You know, everybody, you know, there is so much. Rotary is an all-you-can-eat information buffet. And, you know, there's more there than most people can consume. But please take advantage of those resources on myrotary.org. There is a ton of information there. If you can't sleep at night, pull it up. I know we have a couple other announcements I wanted to mention. Cameron sent me a little chat and said if there's anybody that wants to add items to the goodie bags for the golf tournaments, please get in touch with Cameron so that she can, you know, add your promotional items or anything, you know, you want to provide for the golfers, snacks, you know, bottled water, anything you want to provide for them. Get in touch with Cameron about that. And then also before Dee slipped out, she was, you know, she wanted me to remind everybody that a big focus for Rotary is polio, and that we will be talking a lot about polio in the next month or two. But just know worldwide, Rotary does a lot with polio. And Makiba wanted me to add that, you know, Rotary Leadership Institute, which is not having classes right now, will teach a lot about Rotary. They will start those classes probably in January, and they will be offered virtually. Our Rotary Club will pay for you to attend Rotary Leadership Institute as part of what our scholarships will fund, and it is a great way to learn about what Rotary does in our communities, but mainly in the world. And I think that's about it. If you guys need contact information from Makiba, while she's a member of our club, she is also in charge of Rotary Leadership Institute for our district. So Makiba can get you hooked up with all the information you need there. And flipping back through, I think that's all I had on the people who sent me messages today. Please get your golf information to Tony or Sam. They need that by next week, especially those hole sponsorships, because they got to get those signs printed up. And I think, okay, you guys can unmute yourselves. And were there any other